Hello and welcome. This is Darius Barazandeh. Thank you for opening up the email and joining us here. This is an energy update for this week, October 7th to the 13th. I want to give you an update on what's going on, where we're at. We've been talking a lot about the energy of Venus Retrograde, and I want to share where we're at and what's going on kind of in our energy fields and in the world. And if you stay at the very end, we're going to do a special light language activation using a dowsing tool, and we're going to combine it together, and I'm going to explain exactly what's coming in from the higher dimensional energies and some of the higher councils that I connect to, and we're going to move some big energy during this. So I want to give you the update of kind of what's going on as you move into the weekend. We are still in the Venus retrograde energy. It's going to be here until the 13th of November. So we're here for a while. So let's get really clear on what it's about, because it's very broad, and it's also very important as we move into this new space that a new reality is trying to form on the planet. This is what a lot of people are sharing that are really plugged into this frequency, is that new shifts are coming in, and it has to do, the Venus energy, with love, relationships, the feminine energy. Also money. Now, if you look at this, we're seeing a lot of things about all of these things in our world, in our news. We saw a stock market decline this week. We've seen a lot of the energies around some of the things happening with women and their rights and harassment and Me Too movement. There's so much going on with this energy, but we also see a lot of things around love and sort of moving the frequency of the world into many different spaces. So just be advised that it's all causing us, as we are in this retrograde, to go deeper in, to look inside of ourselves, to see where we are, because this is where the gold is going to be for us. This is where the next dimensional shift is going to come in our own lives, when we actually can go in and feel into what's coming up, because it's going to raise stuff up in you. That's why when we see things happening in the world, we see people get triggered. We're seeing this over and over again. And granted, the more it comes up, although it may seem scary, the more the world is going to see the true fabric behind the third dimensional reality matrix. You're going to see the walls of thought that become like a prison to the world and keep us having the same destiny over and over again. Now, this is happening at the macro level on the planet. It's also happening at the micro level in us. It's happening within us. So look into your life, like see where you maybe feel like there's a pattern coming up in your love, in your relationships, in your connection to money and your profitability to actually create what you want. And also see where the ego comes in and maybe locking you into a certain set of ideas. Granted, I see that because I operate as a third dimensional being myself, and I can see the third dimensional Darius is like, whoa, he's got these ideas. There's a higher dimensional Darius. But where does the higher dimensional you take you right now? Where is it leading you? What is it asking you to do? See, that's the difference. A lot of people think when you transform, you're never going to have a lower vibrational thought again. You're never going to have a feeling of, scarcity or fear or polarity. But that's not true. You are going to be still a human being to have those experiences, but you're also going to be able to access, like turning on a radio dial, a higher dimensional frequency, and be able to discern from that higher dimensional place where you are. Just because you have a radio doesn't mean you can't ever listen to AM radio. But you might say, hey, you know what? I used to listen to that when I was, just getting a very rudimentary radio, or I was in 3D. Now I listen to FM radio or listen to XM radio. You choose the frequency that fits your life. And that's the difference. So remember that. Don't beat yourself up. One of the reasons this is coming in is they want you to know you shouldn't beat yourself up. If you have a feeling like, oh gosh, I had a thought that came in that was negative. I had a thought that was fearful. That doesn't mean anything. What that means is that's the lower dimensional part of you. Now ask, what does the higher dimensional part want to experience today? And begin to plug in and access that awareness. You can do that. The other thing that's happening too is there's a lot of dark energies on the planet that are breaking down. We're seeing this in society. We're seeing this in our news cycles. We're seeing a lot of those folks and people in some of the structures that have been on our planet start to kind of, get a little crazy. You're going to see it more and more and more. And it has nothing to do with parties or political parties, but you're going to see when the structures break down, when the new energies come in, people don't know how to react. People don't know how to fit it in their paradigm. They don't know how to fit it in their framework. So they want to tell you, you're crazy. Don't look at that. Don't listen to that. That's ridiculous, or that's whatever it is. And this is starting to open up, I believe, the mass consciousness and seeding them to say, wait a minute, why are you so upset about this one thing? Or why is this thing something we should know about, right? We should know. We should be able to look at all viewpoints and all possibilities. So the retrograde is bringing all of this into light, because ultimately it's about our relationships to ourselves, our relationships to the planet, our relationships to our reality, and all the different realities that we can access, right? So if we are getting tested, let's say, and a new idea comes up and we see like a mainstream culture idea says, oh, you can't do that, or that's ridiculous, or that person is silly, then guess what that's doing, right? We're saying, wait a minute. So you mean we have to think the same way forever and ever and ever? How are we going to evolve? That's our relationship with the third dimension. So on a mass scale, people are starting to question that relationship. It's like, whoa, I didn't realize that you really wanted me to think that way, and you require me to think that way, or else you don't want to talk to me, right? If we see that in our world, that's the bounds of acceptable thought. And we saw this with Copernicus and so many others that had theories and they were persecuted. So be aware of that as you start to expand out. Be aware of where the third dimensional walls are in your life and how to move beyond them, because you can and you will. Now, I want to share a few things that happened this week. Incredible things. We had many guests this week, so all of these sessions are going to magnify everything I'm talking about. Brian Besko was our first guest on Monday, and Brian is incredible because he's created these energetic tools, tensor rings. I've got many of them all over my house. I've been using them on my devices. I've been using them on my phone. You'll see it. It's actually in my cell phone case. I have one here that keeps the cell phone energy and actually makes it productive for me. And one of the things that he's doing is using these tensor technologies to bring in columns of light and energy fields to shift our vibration. And he actually does, on the call, you'll see it down below, a universal light activation. So you'll get to feel that and be in a whole different space. It was one of those amazing sessions and mind-blowing in terms of an activation, and his kits and the tools are simply incredible. I've been using them. You'll see me wear the actual beautiful heart device that has blown my heart wide open. I feel such great energy with it. So a lot going on. Now on Tuesday, we had none other than Peter Schenk, an incredible inventor who has literally done for us an I am receiving activation that was mind-blowing. And so you're going to get to listen to that activation. You're also going to get to find out about what he's been doing. He's also been creating these amazing energy tools, these bracelets called I am bracelets that literally are extremely, extremely powerful. They come in this amazing box, and each one of them has an I am mantra that you choose. And if you haven't seen these, I'm going to open mine up because we've been talking about these. These come in an absolutely gorgeous box. You open them up and you're going to see basically what they are. And inside of these, you've got a couple things. You've got some very interesting Fibonacci spirals. You've got some different types of coiled copper and different things that can create some big shifts. Now I'm going to put this on. They come in this beautiful box, and you're going to see them here. This is what Peter's been creating. And these each have a mantra. So this one is I am presence. Now there is a energy here through this spiral that basically allows this thing to become like a reciprocating current of energy. But there's no moving parts, there's no batteries, and this is the beautiful bracelet. And if you have an intention, and we talk about which intention, how to use an intention, this actually can keep this intention in your field, in your energetic space. It's a very simple way to do it, and also has a lot of energy to keep you in that energetic space of being at the frequency that you truly want to be at. So it is an amazing gift, and we've been doing so much with Peter, and through the years there have been so many transformations that he's brought forward. Now we also had Janet Dorr. It was a huge week. She's a medical intuitive, and she did one free prosperity healing that was truly profound. And she walks through kind of looking at how do we open up our heart chakra, our throat chakra, and all the areas where we can become blocked to actually receive more, to be more in our light. And she does an incredible activation that you will be blown away by. And on Thursday, we had Jared Hewitt, and what a session. If you listen to anything, you definitely want to take a moment. We do the activation somewhere around the probably 25 to 35 minute mark on the call, and he does an amazing Becoming the Earthly Starseed activation, which was about 8 minutes. It's the most powerful Jared activation I've ever heard. His voice sounds completely different. He's in a whole different space. It was truly beautiful, and you will love that. And it's all part of a lot of his big November to Remember program that is starting up, which is just totally a beautiful gift of energy, love, and light. And people have been super excited about it. It's a space to transform and go to the next level in your life without having to struggle, just using this higher energy and allowing it to move you into a better and brighter space. And we also have Julie Renee, who has been doing some quantum reactivation, and it has been incredible. We are opening up her session because there's been so many requests for that. And I'm going to send a special gift from Julie Renee this weekend. And we also, beautiful Jill Mattson, we've been having a lot of questions about the stargates and the frequencies to open those up. So we are actually reopening her session, which you can use in conjunction with all of this. Now, I know we've gone a little long. I'm going to do a 3-minute light language activation, and I want to bring in some frequencies because there's things coming into the planet right now that we obviously want to work on, we want to begin to move out of. And I'm going to use this dowsing tool. This is another one of the tools that comes with Brian Besko's, basically this whole like quantum package that lets you become like a quantum energy master. This is a wand, and he shows you how to use it. You can use this on your body, on parts where you have pain, anywhere, but we're going to use it for dowsing to open up and to release. So we're going to get started. And so what I'd ask you to do is just put your feet flat on the floor, and we're just going to allow this to spin. I spin counterclockwise. That's just the way spirit moves me. And we're just going to allow right now anything that could be holding you back, anything that you're concerned about, or anything that you're worried about maybe moving into the next couple of days. Just if it's in your field, you can just allow it to be there. You don't need to think about it. And we're just going to ask this higher energy to come in using this Venus retrograde, using this frequency of love and light, just to release it. And I'm going to ask some higher dimensional beings to share some words, some frequencies that can move all of this. Akoto masokoto kapmosta. Ashokoto makoto asto. Ashokota ashtoko ma akostoko makatstu. Ashokoto makatakatsta. So they're saying you are more. You are a higher being of light. This is not your reality. This is not who you are to live it this way. Remember what you are as these frequencies move you out of that space. Remember. And this one's going to be a little higher frequency. Calling in this higher dimensional grid, calling in this 5th dimensional energy, 6th dimensional energy, the frequencies of mathematics and geometry and all of the beings that operate at the 6th dimension. They're calling us to balance the masculine and feminine. There's a lot of that duality energy, and it's being many times in our bodies, something that we fear, something that we don't want to live in ourselves. For men, it's not maybe living in the feminine and being okay with that. And for women, it's being, not wanting the masculine, not wanting to go out and really ask for what you want, receive what you want. That's part of your masculine energy. So we're going to bring in this activation. They want to do this to balance. Alright, now we're just going to keep spinning the pendulum here as it wants to go. It's moving a lot of energy, and I'm sweating after doing that. Wow, thank you, beings of light, as it comes in. Big times on the planet. A lot of things going on, a lot of possibilities. We have had just a record-breaking season already with so many people listening all over the world and just, plugging into this frequency. There's a new earth here. There's a new earth coming. I mean, we are multidimensional. We are not, just to think one way, to live one way. We are realizing there's more. So know that you're loved. Know that you are a multidimensional being on this journey, and know that you have more inside of you than maybe you've ever realized, and that there are answers, and the answers, they're in your heart. And what all of this work is, as we get to it, is that the higher dimensional beings, the energies, the frequencies, the teachings, the awakened perspectives are to move you into here, because this will change the world. This will heal the world, your heart. Not your fear, not your, reality grid, not your limitation, not your past, not the way that you see yourself from the earth perspective, but this multidimensional gateway, this channel. And if any of it is helpful for you, take a listen to our calls down below. Each one of them is all about activating the heart, especially in this time with this beautiful Venus retrograde energy. Much love. Sorry for the longer video. It'll be shorter next time. I love you. I honor you. And thank you for being in my life. We thank you. Much love.